Hi, Vicky. We are very glad to have you here in Brazil. And you know, I would like to ask you a few questions for our audience on the internet. And would you mind to tell us what do you think that are the main issues that there is in the palliative care syringe that comes from the New England Journal of Medicine study that you found out?
Yes. So when I think about why we saw the outcomes we saw in our study in the New England Journal published in 2010, I think it's because we help patients live well with their illness and begin to tolerate that dying is possible. And we talk about helping patients cultivate prognostic awareness so they can make better decisions and live their life more fully.
That's great. And what do you think about burnout in palliative care field?
I think burnout in palliative care is one of the greatest threats to the field. I am very worried about this all across the world. If our clinicians burn out and can't take care of patients, all of the good work will be for nothing. So we spend a lot of time thinking about how can we help our providers build the skills to be resilient, and also how can we make sure that the workplace supports them to have a good work practice so that their workload isn't too high, that they can have as much control as possible over their schedule and their work life. Because I want people to be able to do this work for their whole career and not to burn out and have to leave the field sooner.
That's a very important message. And you told in a section about the things that how to build a relationship with a referral clinician. And I think it's a very important issue. Could you tell something about that?
Yes. So one thing that I've noticed is that it's very important for the palliative care clinician to build a good relationship with the referring clinicians. And this can be quite difficult because patients will tell us one thing as a palliative care doctor and tell an oncologist another thing. And we have to recognize that patients tell different things to different people, and that doesn't mean that anybody did anything bad or wrong. I often will see patients with oncologists, and the patient will hear a beautiful discussion from the oncologist, and the oncologist leaves the room, and I say to the patient, "What did you hear?" And they say, "I think I'm going to be fine." And I think, that's not what I heard. So we have to be humble and remember that even when things are said clearly and beautifully, a patient may only take in a small amount of what was said.
That's great. As a last question, you, as one of the greatest leaders in palliative care that we have in the world today, what could you give as a message for we in Brazil as we are a growing field in our country?
Yes. Well, one thing that I am very impressed by is seeing how large the community is in palliative care here, and that is beautiful. I think one thing that's been important for us that I hope you would do here is to help one another. We try to share everything, share curricula, share ideas about how to run the program. Because if we can help one another out, everyone will grow more rapidly and it will be better because we'll be doing it together. And I think you have already built this great community and continue to be in community with one another in that way. Sorry.
That's so good. Então eu queria agradecer a Vicky, que veio de tão longe compartilhar o tempo, a experiência, as dúvidas dela com a gente aqui no Congresso, com todo mundo da internet também, e de deixar todo mundo ligado nos próximos vídeos da ANCP.